Welcome, welcome back to the Realist Podcast. How you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? I appreciate you for tuning in to the Realist Podcast. But we back to a great show tonight. Oh yeah, because guess what? We are in the season of the winter solstice. So happy winter solstice to all of my subscribers and my followers because it's a worldwide appreciation. It's a worldwide loving event, and it's a worldwide an exchange, of how you have stored up or what you have stored up, what you have done this year, your accomplishments, all of the things that you were able to unravel, the rediscovery of self, the understanding of who you are and why you were doing what you're doing, including myself. So, hey man, I'd like to tell y'all I appreciate y'all, love y'all, appreciate y'all for sharing, loving, and subscribing and being a part and being an alumni to the Will This podcast. I appreciate you. I love you, and I'm grateful to you. But we shall begin the show. Of course, you know what we got to do. So happy with a solstice because we are here, we are live, and we are effective, and we are in effect. So again, let's get to the show. So first of all, what is the winter solstice? Well, the Saturnalia, the Christmas, the Hanukkahs, the everything that came, after, because the actual celebration is, we're gonna get to those because I'm gonna get to get through it with the whip moments. You know what I mean? The whip moments is gonna we're gonna go through the actual. We're gonna do a parallel with life today and what the winter solstice really mean because I got them carved out on the whip moments. So I hope you stay with me. Stay with me for sure. Anyway, let's get some music playing. Because I don't know about all the holiday stuff, but we're gonna get some music playing and we're gonna get to some get to the whip moments. Yeah, we about to do all of that good shit. So here we go. All right, let's see here. All right. Chill hop. All right, we can do that. Well, maybe we will do some Christmas music. Let's see what we got. All right. We're gonna get some winter solstice music. All right. Let me turn it down a little bit though. That's a little. I'm trying to see if I can vibe with it. That's cool. Yeah, we're gonna run it like that. Yeah, it's cool. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to the whip moments. The sun dies for 3 days. Sun dies for 3 days. The winter solstice. The sun dies for 3 days. Why? Because you have to understand what you have stored up in your life for that year, at least. What have you learned? What have you packaged together? What have you put together in your life so where you can be anew for the next year? Maybe a better version of yourself, perhaps. But think about it. When the sun dies for 3 days and it rises again, it's the promise of a new harvest, literally. The harvest that you're storing in, are you going to eat good the rest of the time until you reach that end of March to April spell, April time, the new harvest. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to the next what moment because I don't want to hold you on that one too long because we got to understand something. We already understand that, but let's get to the next what moment. Does this like y'all gonna get mad at me for this, but I'm gonna tell you because these stories were global stories. There wasn't uh, stories of just pivotal to one area. It's just the seasons change and we understand how to operate in order to trade. Bringing a harvest to trade. We bring our best to the table unless somebody stepped in and started fooling and tricking and started destroying and distributing things improperly, and then you have other people that were immigrating to the country unlawfully. So the next what moment is the dislike for immigrants. It's not the people that come here and actually make America better. Some people do, but it's a lot of people that don't. It's a lot of discoveries, you know. Everybody's not going to agree with me, and I don't expect you to. But this is not an immigrant bashing, hating show. I'm just telling you the dislike for the behavior because of the lack of awareness, the lack of understanding, the lack of appreciation, the lack of history that you know. I've spoken about this before on my show a couple of times about this lack of history and this lack of understanding the plight of the Black American, the Aboriginal, understanding our plight, understanding how we could have been the best of buds. We could have been great with each other. But you chose to play the middle, meaning I want to get from this side and that side. And if I have to make them clash, I'll just walk through the path. Yeah, that sounds good when people are not intelligent. It sounds good when your play is worn on your sleeve. You know, you wear that play on your sleeve. And you try to act as if you're peaceful, but you're steady sticking your nose into equations that look at Wes Moore. I'm a Caribbean. If I can't get it, can't nobody get it. Oh, right. That sound familiar? Kamala Harris, sound familiar? I'm just saying. Sounds very familiar. So these people have so much vitriol. Again, I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just explaining to you the way you behave and how we're supposed to be susceptible to it because you have the same skin tone in us. I've already covered a lot of shows that says skin folk can't kinfolk. All skin folk can't kinfolk. We can't vibe that way if there's no respect involved. Why can't you respect the fact that you should have it in the first place? Just respect. If we're going to build together, we have to build together from a place of respect. And I know a lot of immigrants from, all shades. They learned that pretty well. They learned the fact that, damn, if you treat people well, but eventually they're going to choose their people or their side because let's get to the next what moment. Because I want you to understand what I'm saying. Some people, and then I had to put this in there because some people ready for everything. They ready for a change. They ready for everything. But some people, we'll call them ready spaghetti. And some people are petty pathetic. So if you ready spaghetti or petty pathetic, we know the difference. You're so stuck up on what somebody can call out because of what you habitually do to abuse the privileges that you were given on the backs of another, and you still petty pathetic. Let me give you the reason why I'm calling you, some of you, not all, petty pathetic is when you didn't come here to gain, you came here to take. That's what you call petty pathetic. So, but some people ready spaghetti. Shit, yeah. They ready for the next challenge. They ready for the next achievement. They ready for the next wave of the world and how it's gonna function next. Because do we need immigrants? Hell yeah, everybody needs to exchange and amalgamate into a world full of people to where we have to know how to move forward from a global apparatus, but people have to have their specialties and we have to function out of respect and exchange. That's how these things happen. When you talk about global exchange and how it actually operates and amalgamates and how we actually get paid, you're going to go against that. You're going to act like you can put tariffs and all of these situational awarenesses on people that is unwarranted. That's not situational awareness. That's what you call destruction. These are supposed to be happy, wonderful, beautiful times. We're supposed to be smiling and sharing and happy and loving. But some people are pivoting, positioning, and plotting. to persuade, to pursue, and to pounce. You know what I'm saying? Check that out. Check that shit out. Ready to pounce. But let's get to the next what moment. Some illegal immigrants have good intentions. If you say so, why are you illegal in the first place? What did you do before you got here? Why did you expect something to be so merry for you? And how? You've never stored up a harvest. You're in a foreign land. Wow, you understand, man? You're illegal though. There's no way to really tax you unless you're paying taxes from getting your little groceries out the stove. You're taking up housing because it runs housing up when you have a whole bunch of people that are not accounted for living and being shoveled and hoveled up, taking jobs, taking things away from people that actually exist, including naturalized citizens that know how to behave and amalgamate. But we'll get to that. See, when it comes to illegal immigrants, every party agrees that you guys have wore out your goddamn welcome. I never said anything about citizens. I said illegal immigrants have worn out their fucking welcome. Now, me and the Orange Man don't agree on a whole lot of things, but that's one thing we agree on specifically. When you have a parading jerk talking about how it's so wonderful that he can just be a fucking welfare recipient and get $400 to $500 a month in food stamps and gonna say, white boy, white girl, or white man, white woman, you go to work and you pay your taxes and you feed me. You're like, oh, how preposterous is this little fucker? You don't understand how, man, white people are real bitch for homies, so you don't even know the rules. See, we have our situations worked out for the most part. Black and whites, we do. But see, they hate the day and damn the hour that we just couldn't figure out a way. Because with you here, you just muddy the waters. Nothing's merry because you don't have any appreciation. There's nothing for you to fight for but where you at. You don't even know the history of nothing. You don't even have an allegiance at all. You're just here. Taking up housing, taking up space, resources. And like the president said, you want to come over here and you bitch. And you talk shit. No, I'm not going to mimic the calling people garbage, but the shit that you do is garbage. That shit is true. Behavior can be a garbage type of fucking behavior. It can be, and he even contributes to that. So you should know better. But it's like being in a cesspool of shit. It's just watching this shit is just atrocious. It makes my stomach hurt. It's grotesque to a Aboriginal American. You get to see all these people come over here and just pull down their clothes and just take a shit, no matter what they look like. And that's metaphorically speaking as well as literally speaking. You take it how the fuck you want to take it, but you know it's true. Because ain't nobody tell you to behave that way either. Nobody has sympathy on a fucking crook. Let's just be clear. Next what moment? We need to get back to vetting people. See, people like to vet people like, give them a drug test and see what this, do this, do that. Put the cops on him and see if he drive home drunk. Put surveillance on him. Do all of these illegal fucking acts to make them feel like they're outside of themselves. Put pressure on them. Pressure. Because pressure busts pipes. That'll make them fucking explode on themselves. That'll make them pissed off and mad and angry and just do bad shit. No, it just pisses me off because the same shit that people accuse people of doing, they are fucking 100 times guilty of. 1,000 even. You want to act like you so motherfucking special and outside of humanity when you are the worst fucking human type. See, some people, you just ain't fair with your assessment of how reality really works. You practice the highest grade of cognitive dissonance, acting as if nothing applies to you and your fucked up raggedy ass behavior, as if you just stand out and beyond and better than anyone else. You don't have any faults. Bullshit, I point plenty of them out, but people don't want to accept that shit. They want to act as if that don't exist. But you know it's true. You know goddamn well it's true. Happy when it's solstice, motherfuckers. You better store up for a new goddamn harvest. The proper way, not the most destructive and uncanny ways to make yourself better. Because cutting people down does not lift no one up. That's a fact, Jack. Believe that shit or not, that's the truth. That's what it is. You like it or not, that's just what the fuck it is. Let's get to the next word moment. Let's talk about assimilation. See, when people don't assimilate and they have their own type of agendas, so they formulate these different apparatuses that they run on, that fuck with them for a while, that formulates their whole little way of growth. But how can you come to a place and grow and be a welfare recipient? It doesn't make sense. When you come to a place of growth, you have to say, I can offer this. I offer the ability to take care of people. I offer architecture. I offer infrastructure. I offer technical capabilities and skill sets and things of that nature. I offer, marketing and things that I've seen successful globally that you can come to this next. So people like that, yeah, you deserve an Einstein visa. You deserve to be applauded and applicable and things like that make a place better. But when you don't have those skill sets, and when you want to come to a place and sit on and suck out resources without being applicable to anything, and that has nothing to do with going to a Western school and being westernized. It has to do with being a personal adaptation of life to be able to add to the whole of humanity, us. But when you don't have that in mind, that shit gonna backfire. It's gonna fuck up. It's gonna what you would call the shit is gonna malfunction, because somebody's gonna take the lead of, let me see, they're gonna take the lead of, I want it all. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg paid the little twins off, told a story in the Facebook book, you know what I'm saying? So, and then if you got to think about it, that's why me and AE was talking about another show. I'm talking about another show that me and AE was having when we was talking about how if you think about being first, like some people, when you're first with the subject, when you're first with an equation, when you're first to talk about something, people do it, but the application isn't the same. Now, when you talk about a product, that's when you got something. First to get it out, first recognition, and then you get to upgrade it, you get to tweak it, and you get to make it something of what you dreamed it to be. That's fair. But when it comes to spewing out information and trying to be first with spewing out the information, and you didn't, thoroughly do your work or your research, then that makes it, it makes it kind of like stale, or not fully vetted. You did what I'm saying? So you always want to think about that vetting process of anything, especially concerning yourself. Because when you make that decision to either work with someone, sign a contract, or go into business or anything, you got to understand you are going to have to be accountable for the outcome of that whole situation, depending on how you vetted your partners. What kind of track record do they have? Or, that's why when people, most of the time they talk, they run down their credentials. I did this, I did that. I understand why. I get why now. But are they legitimate? And what are your real credentials? What do they mean? Because the thing about it is, when you have credentials, they have to mean something to other people as well as yourself. You can have this wonderful thought about who you are and who you dream yourself to be and how you want to be this great fucking person. But if it has no type of vetting behind it or no type of showing, you have no references, then you can be easily called a liar. It's just that simple. Let's get to the next moment. Vetting people, that's how you assimilate. If you have a group of people and they have common interests and they have a common goal, they have to assimilate to achieve that goal. If you have a country that has an ideology, but if that ideology is built on white supremacy and you have foreigners that come here and they want to participate, being as close is to whiteness as possible. Why? Because that's their means of survival. So they buy into things that are not true. They say, hell, well, maybe lying is the new way of life. We're used to that. Of course, this is a land of opportunity. So I'll lie to get to the opportunity. And you don't feel that gut shitty feeling that you have inside, that emptiness, because you got all of this money, but you have no real substance. You ain't got shit that count. All you got is some shit that you made up. Paper money. Paper soldiers. Paper souls. Zombies. People that you cannot take seriously because they have no integrity. Let's get to the next moment. So, to be quite honest with you, you see where that behavior's got you? All that old fucked up. You see that behavior got you? See, now the shit is up. All that shit is up. All of your false flagging for everyone globally. Somehow countries still figure out a way to amalgamate and accept some of America's customs because they're not all bad. But you have to understand where they're rooted and why they are not, another's creation. They are the Aboriginal creations. That's what it is. So anyway, the shit is up. All the bullshit, all of the trash talking, all of the disrespect, you better get back to some self gratification as far as understanding where you come from, how to get back there, or maybe be grateful for where you are if you ain't found yet. You better be grateful. You better face tomorrow with a better attitude. I told you last night it's time to, back up off the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You might want to be more peaceful and take that approach, Vice, being so destructive in your everyday life. But anyway, get to the next moment. It's also a time to make sure when you get to where you need to be, it's time to store up knowledge, store up, investing in your business is storing up when you know it can be successful. So that's another form of storing up. You also want to store up, some money. You want to store up, things that are going to pivot you forward because it's always going to be a pivotal time to do it. It may not always be the time to put out your idea. You could store it up and figure out and master the right time to move forward on these type of things. So it's a great deal of ways of winning. You just have to take part in understanding how you are supposed to win. What works for you specifically, not what works for your brother or your mama or your sister or your cousin or your friend or your wife. No, you have to do more internal work so you can figure out what works specifically for you. So let's get to the last what moment. A new harvest. And that's how you get there. That specific work, that specific genuine way of being able to build the version of you that you would like and that other what people like as well. Nobody likes an asshole, and you don't always have to build a new you. You could just, it's more so like an enhancement, an add-on, a purification. Just like you got to clean your bowels, what I'm saying? Just like you got to clean your blood, just like you have to, clean your house, clean your body, work out, build your muscle, build yourself, build your intuition, build your apparatus, your body, your vessel, your being, your apparatus, your mindset. How do you build your mindset into a new? Let me show Jordan again. Let me show Jordan, man. What's up, Pimpin', man? We've been missing you tonight. I'm glad to see your face, MJ. Hey, what's up, Pimpin'? I always got to have Jordan here, man. You know how it go. Anyway, so check it out. Always participate in understanding how it's always going to be a new harvest. You understand what I'm saying? Happy winter solstice. And understand me well. Be anew. Go into the new year anew. We love you. You appreciate you. We're so grateful for you. This is the Willis Podcast. So say it with me. Happy winter solstice, but for real though, even with that whole algorithmic equation, the wheel is yours. Happy holidays, holy days, intricate days, new days, learned days. But don't ever forget that shit. It's your wheel. Peace, Pimpin'.